We're starting off with updates from Turkey. In about a week from now, people of Turkey are going to be out on the streets for elections. They need to elect a new parliament and a new president. The ballots haven't opened on the streets of Turkey yet, but they have elsewhere. We mean the diaspora overseas who are voting as we speak. And they may tilt the balance in this tight race. There are 3.4 million registered Turkish voters living outside of the country. This is more than 5% of the total electorate. Polling stations are operational in 73 countries. The voter turnout here has been consistently hovering around just 50%. But these votes are still crucial, especially for the incumbent, President Erdogan. Reports show he received nearly 60% of the vote coming from abroad back in 2018. Now, the man has been in power in Turkey for over 20 years. But the May election will be the toughest challenge he has faced so far. His return is looking rather dubious because of this man. He is Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, a 74-year-old man, often called Turkey's Gandhi. He is a civil servant turned politician. His party has lost every election since 2010. But this year, the potential is actually real, which is why Erdogan is using the nation is under threat, perhaps as a strategy, and is painting Kılıçdaroğlu as an imperialist.
Evet, Bay Kemal.
They want to turn the country into a jungle ground for terrorist organizations whose leashes are in the hands of imperialists. Their problem is not with us as a party, but with Turkey, the Turkish nation and Turkey's achievements. But Mr. Kemal, on the May 14, this holy nation, these dear citizens of mine will turn the ballot boxes into a grave for you. Are we ready for this?
Kılıçdaroğlu is backed by a six-party opposition alliance. They are hoping to capitalize on the anger against Erdogan. And for the first time in 2 decades, their chances are looking fair. Polls indicate the main contender will fall short of a simple majority. This is needed to clinch the race in the first round itself, which means May 14th election could go for a second round. Kılıçdaroğlu has been a part of the Turkish politics for the last 13 years. He understands the importance of the votes coming in from abroad. Just last week, he promised legal and regulatory changes to favor the Turkish diaspora. Better pension payments are on the cards as well. But now, will promises be enough to sway a section that has traditionally supported Erdogan? We'll know 2 weeks from now. Just ahead of the voting, Erdogan has launched a new attack against the country's LGBTQ community. Experts say he is trying to lure his conservative base. He has categorically said that he is against the LGBTQ group. Meanwhile, Kılıçdaroğlu has run on a more inclusive campaign. Time and again, leftist secular leader has called on people to be accepting towards everyone. All right, for more on this, we are being joined by Yusuf Erim from Istanbul, who is the editor-at-large at TRT World. Welcome to the broadcast, Yusuf.
Thanks, Shivan.
Happy to have you here again. Yusuf, Erdogan has been leading since 20 years, but things are genuinely seeming tough this time around. What are his chances of returning for another term?
Well, when we look at the polls right now, it looks like it's definitely neck and neck, and this is probably going to be the toughest challenge of his 21-year career. The opposition seems very cohesive, 6 parties together, and 1 candidate that they're all supporting. And generally, the polls show both candidates underneath the 50% threshold for the first round. And the most recent polls show both candidates at 49% each for the second round. So that's just to give you an idea how close it is. And Erdogan, he's been working hard. He's been hitting the road. He had some health issues, some stomach flu last week. But besides that, he's been hitting his rallies. Rallies have been jam-packed for him, but also the opposition as well. They've been rallying. They've been meeting with their supporters. So it's going to be a very exciting final 10 days before voters finally hit the ballot box and decide who Turkey's next president is going to be.
Yusuf, Let's talk about the other side now. Kılıçdaroğlu, whose chances are equally fair because it's really neck to neck here. With the support of all the parties coming together behind him, and with him rather, he's coming in with some big promises. Legal and regulatory changes for the Turkish diaspora, better pension payments. Question is, do you think promises will be enough to tilt it towards his side?
Well, we have to remember he has a very eclectic group in his opposition alliance, 6 parties, many different views. You have left-wing parties, you have nationalist right-wing parties, you have conservative Islamist right-wing parties, you also have a left-wing Kurdish party as well. So we shouldn't call that in the table of 6, but supporting them from the outside. So this very eclectic group, sometimes it's hard to be very cohesive. And when we look at some of the promises that Kılıçdaroğlu has made, of course, it's going to take time. After 20 years of having Erdogan at the top, of having one political party at the top, any type of change in administration is going to have some pushback on the institutional level for some time being. Many of these changes over the past 20 years have been very, very ingrained. So some of these promises probably are wishful thinking and just election rhetoric, but it does seem that some of these promises that he might be able to follow through on as well.
Thank you, Yusuf, for joining in on the broadcast. That was Yusuf Erim from Istanbul, who is editor-at-large at TRT World.